KiddNation Extra, everybody.
Extra.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's going on? So today, we didn't get to do tidbit news, and somebody wrote me and said, hey, JC, you guys didn't update me on what's happening in the world.
Wow.
We are your news source.
We got you on that. As soon as I turn on our little button right here,
Okay.
because I thought I had turned it on, Al, but now I did.
It's time for Tidbit News.
I know we talk a lot about children bullying children.
Yes.
And there's movements going on at schools, and you're trying to help your kid be a good person. But apparently, according to First for Women magazine, adult bullying is on the rise.
Adult bullying?
Yeah.
Yeah, not shocked.
72% of people dealing with it at work. And then there's 40% of them coping with being bullied online.
Yeah, I think online is the place.
Yeah.
I can
But at
see it
work,
online.
72% are dealing with it at work.
How would...
Do you think some people are misdefining bullying? Like,
yeah.
being told
Labeling-
what to do by a superior. You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
Right.
And you know, I think some people are throwing that word around a little loosely.
I agree with you 100%.
Do you think somebody here at the office feels like they're being bullied?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Justin?
That people have at various times.
No, I've asked Justin. Justin's actually super happy, and yeah, he's good.
We all gang up on each other every once in a while, right?
Yeah, we make
and then
fun.
you would feel bullied at that point.
Mostly Russ face.
Yeah, we make fun, but I don't ever like when you guys make fun of me. I don't feel like you're bullying me. I just feel like it's my turn to get made fun
Different
of.
levels of it.
Yeah. So stop bullying adults as well, people. Be nice to each other. And check this out, Jenna. I know you just banked your eggs.
I did. They're frozen. Ah. Sorry. I just have finally kind of started feeling like myself
Aren't you
again.
glad
So I'm sorry. Yeah,
it's
I'm glad
finally over?
I did it. You know, I'm glad it's in the bank, but yeah, I'm glad I'm through all that.
Well, this is probably not as painful or stressful as what you went through, Jenna, but there's something for dudes now.
What?
There's a new company that lets you bank your hair follicles so that they can be injected back into your head once you go bald.
Oh.
So
Really?
yeah, so if you're young,
You got a
you
full
still
head
got a
of
full
hair?
head of hair. Maybe your dad has a bald head or your grandpa or something, and you're like, maybe that's going to be me one day. Go in and get those hair follicles farmed out, and just in case for the
How
future.
much would that cost?
I don't have the price in front of me, but I'm guessing it's going to be pretty expensive.
Yeah, banking anything is probably expensive.
Yeah, it's
but
not going to be cheap.
Don't skimp on hair replacement. I remember going to the post office one time, and the man had plugs, and you could see the holes in his head with the hair sprouting out of them.
Yeah.
They've come a long way with
They really have.
transplants.
I'll admit it, man. That's one of my fears. I have a fear that one day I'll be bald.
Go with it.
And and that's what I keep telling myself. If I ever see that I'm starting to go bald, I think I would just go ahead and shave it off like Al
I
did.
think that's sexier.
Not going to do the comb over?
No. I looked into, I'm not going to do the comb over. I'm not going to try to do the comb forward.
Whatever direction it needs to go.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to give in and just shave it all off.
Or the piece, the hair piece.
You could do the hair piece, but I feel like that would fall off at some point, and I just want to avoid all embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
So I think I would go bald. I think I'd embrace that.
All right.
How about this? We did talk about this story. We're doing tidbit news here on the KiddNation Extra. A guy went viral before because he bought a ton of Girl Scout cookies. We talked about this. It was in South Carolina.
I saw this.
He went viral for buying $540 worth of cookies so 2 Girl Scouts could get out of the cold. Because it's
nice.
cold. And they sit out there on their cute little benches with their little table.
So nice.
Well, yesterday he was busted by the DEA for drug trafficking.
Huh?
That's where he got all his money?
Yeah, it turns out he was accused of importing heroin and cocaine from Mexico.
Oh, my God.
So he's giving out a free box of cookies with every baggie?
I don't know, Kelly. I don't know if he was just using the boxes to import and out, but I don't know what he was doing. But
Darn it.
46-year-old Dietrich McGowan from Greenville, South Carolina, is now arrested.
Oh, man.
He's facing 22 charges.
See,
Buy some heroin,
he thought
get
he was
some-
doing a nice thing, but he shined a spotlight on himself.
See, that's the thing, man. I feel torn right here because
Get a box of truffle mints or whatever you call
he did such a nice thing for those girls, but now he's importing drugs.
He's a drug dealer with the heart of gold.
Yeah, I mean, you could still be a good person and do bad things, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still do that.
And that was another edition of Tidbit News.
Just a couple of things going on today. And don't forget, President Trump is meeting with Kim Jong-un, or he already met with him in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So we'll be hearing about how that meeting went down between the two. Hopefully it went well. And there's some...
And that Cohen thing today, too.
And then the Cohen thing's happening. But
A lot going on.
A lot going on in our world. Whitney wrote us, so it's time for the question of the day. I have a family reunion coming up, and I'm loving looking through old pictures and reminiscing. What is everyone's favorite family memory?
Oh, gosh, that's so hard.
That's a hard one.
There's so many. But the one that jumps out at me
Okay, go ahead, Al.
is when we all used to go on road trips. And my grandmother was very active in the PTA. And so she would always say, we're going on vacation, but it was actually we're going to the National PTA Convention. But I say that to say one time we didn't have a predetermined destination. We just jumped in the car, loaded the bags up. We're in the car. And my grandmother looked at me and said, where do you want to go? And I said, Colorado. Don't know why. I couldn't tell you. We went to Denver and Boulder, Colorado. From that point, we left out the driveway. We just went. I don't even know how my granddad knew how to go there. It's not like those cell phones.
Yeah.
We just went, and we ended up in Colorado, or someplace that they told me was Colorado.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's hilarious. 2 hours later, we're here.
Right? Probably in Denton.
Man, I guess if we're going with the first thing that pops to our mind, mine was on a New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And I think I was probably like 9 years old. And I remember it was a Christmas where my parents didn't have enough money for presents. And so I did get like underwear and socks. But I think my dad noticed how my other friends were playing with their video games and stuff. And I remember on New Year's Eve, he got off of his shift. And I was in my room and it was dark. And he walked in and he said, hey, I know I wasn't able to buy you a present this year or a video game that you wanted. But he rented me this baseball game from Blockbuster Video. And he put it on my bed. And he's like, but I rented you this, and even though we could only have it for a couple of days, we could play for a couple of days. And so he sat there and he played this video game with me. And I don't know why, but I remember that memory, and I don't remember being emotional when it happened back then. I was like, oh, cool, I gotta. But looking back at it, when I think of that, I always it brings little tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Jenna, do you have one?
Christmas is for me for sure because I was an only child. My mom loved. She decorated so much. I never decorate like that anymore. But it was really the only time I can recall that the three of us spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just hours in the morning, Christmas morning. I remember very vividly a lot of those Christmases with the three of us being really great. Because, I grew up an only child. So it was usually a lot of my mom and me.
Yeah.
And then my dad worked all the time. So Christmas was really great.
I bet. Kelly, I'm sure Mr. Raspberry had something. Yeah.
I have a million great memories. So it's really hard.
I love your family.
I mean, my daddy was the baby of 12. And so when we had family reunions, it was such a big deal.
Can't even
and
imagine.
So fun.
There's just two of us. I can't even imagine.
And you can imagine how colorful my family was.
Oh, yeah.
And certain uncles.
By colorful, she means white.
No, there's
I'm
stories,
kidding,
they're
I'm
funny, and
Yeah.
it was just great. And my uncles would come over. I remember when Muhammad Ali would have a fight, and it used to be a very big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncles would come over, and I was in charge of setting out the ashtrays
Rumble in the jungle.
for the cigarettes because they were all smokers back then, And
Yeah.
I just remember things like that. It's just, and spending the night with my grandmama Raspberry, and she had, my grandfather had to sleep in a hospital bed. He was a huge man. And so he had a hospital bed in the middle of the living room. And we would use the underneath of it like a jungle gym, and we would swing on it. And then my grandmother had her own room. There was 2 beds in it, so she'd lay in one bed and I'd lay in the other. And I would just get her to tell me stories from her childhood because she was born in 1900.
Holy moly!
And my daddy was a baby of 12.
12,
So
yeah.
She was 45 when he was born.
Wow.
And she was really older, and she would tell me stories about growing up during the Depression and stuff. And it's just. Really, you need to talk to your grandparents.
Absolutely.
Talk to them before
and
it's
ask
too late.
them about those stories.
What about Uncle Drunk Malcolm when he slipped you the tongue?
Wow,
That's
Elsie,
a
well, you gotta
story
take
I don't
something
like
sweet.
to
to talk about. Whitney, what a sweet question, though. We
Yeah.
appreciate that one.
It
Thank you
is.
for letting
It
us
is.
reminisce.
It is.
If you want to do the question of the day, drop it right there in the comments section. We'll be back tomorrow. Another temperature is going to be given out for the winter warm-up, so you can be going off to Florida thanks to visitflorida.com. And we want to hear your first world problems, Kid Nation. If you want to write it on Twitter or on Instagram, make sure you hashtag First World Problems. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Bye.